I'm Barry Tompkins, and we welcome you to the premiere edition of SHO Report, highlighting boxing on Showtime every month. This year's boxing calendar began here on Showtime with the adage, ladies first. Showtime has had a long history of showcasing women's boxing. Years ago, it was the great Christy Martin who fought often on Showtime and Showtime pay-per-view, and many times stole the show from people with names like Mike Tyson and Julio Cesar Chavez. It wasn't too many years later that Showtime brought the other big name in female boxing, Laila Ali, to American television.
When you ask who the best woman fighter is, they said Laila Ali or Christy Martin, and I want to be at the top of that list of names.
The focus on women's boxing returned to our network with Claressa Shields after claiming back-to-back Olympic gold medals in 2012 and 2016, turned a gold medal into a gold-encrusted belt and won the WBC and IBF super middleweight titles in only her fourth professional fight. On January 12th, Shields took on a more experienced and unbeaten opponent, Tori Nelson. Shields dominated the fight, but was unable to drop her aggressive opponent despite a near shutout on the scorecards. Women's boxing at weights above 160 pounds is lacking in quality opposition, but sitting in the audience that night was Christina Hammer, a champion herself who's also undefeated.
They think that she's better skilled than me, so I can't wait to fight her and show her that she isn't. And I'm gonna kick Hammer's ass.
That fight should happen this year, and certainly will be the measuring stick by which Claressa Shields will be considered moving forward. Just over a week later, in an effort to give our audience an even wider range of options, Showtime began the evening with a live Facebook stream that featured two bright young prospects. Former U.S. Olympian Marcus Brown has suddenly emerged as a bona fide talent.
See the action. A straight left, right on the chest. Down he goes! Oh my goodness! The tattoo, face first!
He took the next step toward his title hopes by destroying Francie Ntitu in the very first round. Everyone, it seems, is looking for the next great heavyweight challenger, and Brooklyn's own Adam Kovnatsky could nudge himself into that category of contender. Kovnatsky hooked up with a live opponent named Iago Kalatse, who brought the fight to him with his aggressive style. But Kovnatsky took charge and pounded Kalatse into submission in the sixth round.
Two uppercuts in the right hand.
The brawl was such that both fighters wound up in the hospital for precautionary reasons and shared a room. Two fights highlighted the championship portion of the evening on Showtime. The night opened with Robert Easter's third defense of the lightweight title, but was over before it was over. The challenger, Javier Fortuna, was almost 2 pounds over the lightweight maximum at the weigh-in.
He has 2 hours to make weight.
Little had changed, and thus the fight would be held, but Fortuna could not win the title. When the fight did get started, though, it was not the kind of evening Easter expected.
Oh my, good left hand.
Oh, landed a solid right hand, but then Fortuna countered with a shot that bothered Easter.
A questionable one-point deduction might have been the ultimate difference in the outcome.
Fortuna continues to throw that left behind the head of Robert Easter. There's some body work and a left hook by Easter.
And that's the combination punching I was looking for.
Fortuna battled Easter for 12 rounds, and in the minds of most ringside observers, Fortuna won the fight. However, Easter was handed an unpopular split decision win. We all want to see Easter attempt to unify the division. However, Easter's IBF mandatory opponent will be determined on March 10th. It all set the stage for the main event of the evening, which turned out to be another showcase for one of boxing's biggest stars, Errol Spence Jr. It's never easy for a fighter to tangle with a good friend, but that was the case with Spence Lamont Peterson.
Another uppercut lands. Chopping left hand by Spence. A nice left uppercut, right hand to the body, and left hand upstairs by Spence. And he's putting pressure on Peterson. Off. And there he drops Peterson in round 5 with a left hook.
We're standing there too long. How do you feel? I still believe in you. Find it. Box.
Peterson with a left hand.
He's hurt again.
Oh.
Hurt again.
Peterson staying in the pocket. Plenty of heart on display.
Hanging tough.
Do you got any left?
Yeah, I got some in me.
Huh?
I got some in me.
Spence dominated every second of this fight, winning every round on every card before Peterson's corner mercifully stopped it at the start of the 8th round.
Look at me. Yeah. Too much goddamn hot for your own good.
This was a take-notice kind of evening for Errol Spence Jr.
Errol Spence is the truth. He doesn't just win, he finishes his opponents.
There are plenty of great fights out there with the likes of Shawn Porter, Danny Garcia, and maybe the fight that everyone would love to see with Keith Thurman.
I'm not going to sit around and wait for him like I've been saying. Right now, I'm just thinking of a homecoming. I'm thinking about going home and fighting in Dallas, my next fight.
There are a ton of good things going on in boxing to talk about this year, so be sure to join us again next time for another edition of Show Report right here on Showtime Sports. I'm Barry Tompkins.